I'm joined by Alvin Goozie Hines, an MMA fighter representing Duluth, Minnesota. He's a pro on the rise while also a proud member of the International Union of Operating Engineers. Shout out to Local 49. But more importantly, on April 5th, he's back in the LFA cage, this time facing the 3-0 prospect of Justin Smith, who flies up from Florida to make his LFA debut. So let's start there. Like, how does this fight come together? And, was this your only opponent this time?
No, we had, actually I was sent a list of 3 names, and my manager and my coach don't even really ask me anymore. They send me them for me to look at them, but I'm going to fight anyone that's going to say yes, so it doesn't really matter to me, but the first 3 all said no, so we were still looking, and then they dug one up in Florida, so kudos to this guy for saying yes. Appreciate that shit.
This poor guy's flying up from Florida to Minnesota where you're getting snow this week. So, complete different result for him now. He's going from Hollywood, Florida to the Arctic at this point. Right. Speaking of that too, I want to lean into a little bit of your background too. You grew up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. You're now out in Duluth. How does it feel to represent Duluth when you enter the cage?
Not too bad. We're still working on putting together more of a gym here and getting stuff rolling because we had a little fallout not too long back. But I've been driving down to Minneapolis a lot, 3-4 days a week for camp down there, and that's been a huge plus. I got my coach Chad Romero here working on my striking, and a couple other buddies, and they're really helping me put it all together. There's not a lot in Duluth right now, but there should be soon.
Nice. And you are still relatively new to the pro scene in MMA. You only had 3 AMI fights, and then now you're entering your 3rd pro fight. And even your AMI fights, you had a decade between your first and your second one. What was the reason behind that, and your story there?
I started working, and just kind of stayed working and fell out of the groove and didn't get back into it because there's not anything in Grand Rapids for for that kind of stuff. So there was just nowhere for me to pursue it, and I really, to tell you the truth, I didn't know that I was gonna like it this much, or I would have pursued it then.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned on it before. You're not only a fighter; you're also a union. You're a union strong guy, and what is it? Heavy machinery engineer. What is your exact specialty?
Yeah. Mostly dirt work. I started out in the mines when I was still in high school, but running heavy equipment for those guys it's been my job forever. First real job I ever had, and I just kept it. And the union family I got is really supportive of this, and a bunch of them are coming. They give tickets out at the union meetings. It's awesome. It's like a big family.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a union household. I have family members in the carpenter union. My dad's an electrician. So, I have the Zaps and the nail guys on both sides of the family. How do you feel being in the union and all too? Does that help you kind of balance out the work ethic when it comes to fighting as well?
It makes you want to, you're going to have to want to do it because we don't work short hours. We just don't. I've never, it's rarely that we get an 8-hour day. So either I get up and I do it before work and then I go after work, or vice versa. But you gotta want to do it or you're not gonna. It's a long day. I'm not gonna lie, and I get crabby.
I can relate to that. Like I said, I know my cousin's he's been in the carpenter union for 25 years. 26 years. He's nearing the end of his time. Now he's starting to look at retirement this time. Now he's ready to be a union retiree, not a union member. And but it's, with that too, speaking of being from Minnesota and all that too, Minnesota's known for wrestling, football, hockey, and all that. I know you had some wrestling background, but do you have any other sport background as well?
Yeah, I played some football, but just both in high school. Just wrestled and played football in high school. Didn't go play in college or anything like that, or wrestle in college. So it was just all right in high school, and did a little bit of catch wrestling after high school down at a gym in Arizona. And that was a small gym too, but that was my first introduction to like submission sports, like jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And I just fell in love with it.
Like, so then, when it did transition into MMA, your first 3 fights came by way of knockout. So you're fisted to talking in the first 3. And now so far in your pro career, they're both by submission. Was there like a love for jiu-jitsu that came into play, or is it just how shit has happened?
Yeah, no, I kind of fell into it. A guy, I was wrestling with some little kids at a picnic, and he's like, "Hey, you should do jiu-jitsu." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Doesn't sound like it's for me." And then I tried it, and I actually only went to like 2 practices and went to my first tournament that same week. And ended up winning it and just fell in love. Went down to like Vegas and stuff my first year, and made it to the second day down to ADCC trials. It was but I just wanted it. It ain't like I was good at jiu-jitsu. It was do or die as soon as I crossed the mat.
That's crazy too, because ADCC is like the real deal too. You weren't doing like a little like smoker event on the side. You went right to the deep end.
Dogs. That's what I'm saying. Like especially if I'm gonna drive that far, I ain't gonna drive down to these big tournaments and like sandbag it and go in one of the lesser brackets. I'm going to the mat. I'm going in the advanced bracket. I want to beat the best there. I want to know how good I am. That's just me. That's why I fight now. I love to compete. I want to know if I'm better than the next guy.
And it has shown so far. You're 2-0 in your pro career, but your debut came against Philip Latu, who, if anyone has caught up on his recent career, he's killing it now. So like, your first win is aging the best it could be, and you finished him. You didn't only finish him, you sent him to a new weight class as well. You sent him down to 205. And it's even better knowing, like you kind of said, you took on jiu-jitsu as like I'll try it.
Yeah, Philip hits like a tank, or he hits like a truck. Like I haven't been hit that hard since. The dude hits hard. So I definitely have been really working on not coming in like this, because you can see in that first I do it and he catches me and poof. But I've just been improving since then. He definitely taught me a couple things, and yeah, that was a big win for me. I needed that one.
And you did kind of touch on this already. That yes, you're in Duluth, but you've been traveling down to Minneapolis and all that. Who have you been training for this one? And who have, like, teammate wise, have you been training with?
It's actually not. Yeah, it's Tommy Peterson, Isaiah Gomez, Steven Aspen. He's on the card, and a couple of their buddies that they bring in. Caleb Chalk's been helping me with the boxing, which I really appreciate too. I can't thank those guys enough. The guy's host that we train at, he has become a huge part of the camp. I don't really want to say his name on here or anything, but he's a really good guy, and I'm just grateful that he has us down there and works with us. Those guys alone have stepped me up from here to like here. I would beat my ass the last fight. If me fought me the last fight, I'd whoop his ass.
That's great, because we're talking like only months difference too. You just fought in January. You're now back here 3 months later with what sounds like a whole different support team behind you when it comes to training. And this time you do have Justin Smith next, and I kind of touched on it. Kind of revved it up a bunch of times. Your first 2 pro fights have come by submission. Are you looking for anything in particular this one? Do you want to show the hands this time, or you just want to get another win?
Absolutely, I do. I want to give the people what they want. I want to knock his ass out bad. I want one of those ones. I want to look like Francis Ngannou, man. People love that shit.
I want to kind of take a step back from Goozie the fighter to Alvin Hines the person now. This is the kind of part where like a lot of people don't really get to know you guys. We catch you guys on Fight Pass, we catch you guys on YouTube and all these other places, maybe on Instagram Reels and all too. So kind of confirmed that you ahead of time too. You born and raised in Minnesota. There's a certain game that you probably played growing up that other people call by a different name. I know it as Duck Duck Goose. You know it as
Yeah, Duck Duck Goose still. Or
Really?
Duck Duck Great.
There's the one. When I first heard that, I thought someone was fucking with me. And I have a friend from Minnesota, and he was like, "No," he goes, "Fuck you, it's not goose, it's gray goose." And I was like, "No, gray goose is what you drink, or gray duck." I was like, "Great, you know." And talking with the same friend too, I kind of said, I was like, "Hey, you know, I'm talking to a fighter from Mini. Give me some Mini shit that I can ask about, because all I know is Mighty Ducks, and I can talk to you for hours about Mighty Ducks, but no one's gonna care." And he mentioned one thing in particular that's kind of known in that area pretty well. I'm going to try to say it correctly. Lutefisk? Lutefisk?
He said in this area?
Yeah, I kind of just gave him where you're from, and he was like, ask him about Lutefisk. And I was like, okay.
I would say more like hot dish, man. That's more of a Minnesota thing. Like tater tot hot dish, shit like that.
That sounds a lot better than what I looked up what that is. I'll eat those tater tot hot discs all day. You're going to pay me to eat Lutefisk. Not all about this whole spoiled thing. The other one too, you know, when you're not training and you're not working your 12-hour days, what are you doing to unwind? Like where do you like to go out in like Duluth or the surrounding areas?
Uh, around here, I haven't got a whole lot around out in Duluth. I like to go, there's some waterfalls and stuff we go check out. I like swimming, but I like to go hunting. I like to get out of state and go hunting, squeeze it in here when I can. Mostly just bow hunting, but like we got out not last year, but the year before out to Colorado and stuff, and that is just a big, just lets a lot loose and with the family, and that's one of my favorite pastimes. I go on vacation to Costa Rica. I've been going every year. I love that too. Not killing anything there, but killing some time, and that's once in a while you just got to get out and do that because when I'm here, this is what I'm doing. Especially now, I really have just stepped it up to training, and it's gonna show. But when I'm not doing that, I enjoy hunting, fishing when I can. Vacations and beach time, going up to see my family. Try to do that as much as possible because people die all the time. So, you know, life is short. Life is too short.
The funny part is my next question. You kind of just answered it in that answer. Minnesota's beautiful, especially the parts that you're over in. You know, there's a reason why it's called the land of the 10,000 lakes because there's 11,000 because we don't count very well in America. What's your choice of activity though? Do you prefer the hunting over fishing?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And I kind of picked on that because like your pitch, I didn't see you out on a boat sitting there with a beer in hand and a rod in the water. I've seen pictures of the hunting, so kind of figured. But like I said, I talked to my buddy from the area, and he was like, "No, I go on the boat. Like he's a boat guy. He likes to just go out there, coast, and just relax and um, kill time is probably the nicest way to say it." And last before we wrap this up though, as a fighter, we have supporters all over the place. You have friends on here. I mean, like I said, kind of said before here too, like you have people coming out and saying you need to interview Goozie Hines now, and I do what the fans ask. You reached out because I was like, hey, just pass them my info. We got it done. But you also have a bunch of businesses and supporters that are there no matter what, win or lose. We're gonna just say win because you don't know what the hell losing is. I'm going to pass the mic to you to kind of like give these people a shout out that they deserve. Mike's all yours. Go ahead.
There is such a long list of them for local support that I don't want to ramble on and miss any. Next, when we follow up, I'm going to have a little thing with them all on there. It'll be on my banner and on the t-shirts and stuff at the fight. You'll be able to zoom in on that. I'll be more prepared next time to show you all that. But there is one that stood out is the kids at the Deer River High School, the school I went to before the last one, and the teachers, they wrote up this big board for me. They all signed it and took pictures and stuff. And that was cool. That was awesome because I don't know I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but it meant a lot to me. It was very cool. So if I want to give a shout out to them for sure, and definitely try to do them proud. Well, I'm gonna do them proud, but try to do it in a cool ass fashion so that they all like. Like there's so many businesses back home that are helping me out, and so much love from the like. You wait till you hear the crowd when we get there. It is nuts. My fans and sponsors are crazy. It's gonna be the shit.
Nice. And I saw the picture of what the school did to you. I'm gonna include that as you're answering so people can see like what that looked like, because again, we don't know how to express ourselves sometimes, and you can kind of tell that shit mattered to you. Like that was cool. That like they didn't have to do it. Is kind of where it came from, but they did. And but next up, April 5th, LFA 181, Mystic Lake Casino in Prior Lake, Minnesota. You're back home again. This is your second time with LFA, second time in Prior Lake. Streaming live on UFC Fight Pass. You face Justin Smith, and you also share a car with a guy that you beat on your AMI days, who you kind of hinted that you're even training with now, and Steven Asplund.
Oh no! I lost the Muay Thai fight to him. I did one Muay Thai fight, and yeah, he beat Steven can strike, man. It was good. So we both benefit each other really well. But yeah, we train together now, and we're gonna be menaces in this weight division. It's gonna be good.
Great promotion to be with too. LFAs does shows what feels like every week. So I know you have the union job. You can't fight every week, even though you would love to. But I'm sure eventually, they're going to take you from Minnesota and bring you down to all the other venues they go to, because heavyweight's fun to watch when you're not just holding each other. I know that's one thing I've heard you say it elsewhere. You're kind of worried about this opponent, that he likes the cage hug, and you're I don't know about you. I know I'm not a big fan of like hugging other dudes, so I have a feeling that you don't want to sit there and caress him for 15 minutes. So I'm looking forward to this fight. Yeah. So I just want to say, best of skill in this one. I look forward to watching this one, the next one, the one after that. I want to also thank you for your time, and kick some fucking ass this fight.
My man. Appreciate you.